What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some more boxing concerning Luis King Kong Ortiz. Ortiz has went on record, and he stated that first of all, his next opponent, Kaufman, he is a good opponent, and he's not overlooking the opponent. And they asked him about a couple other questions, and he went through the interview. But then they asked him about Anthony Joshua. And he said Anthony Joshua doesn't want to fight anyone. Anthony Joshua is protected. Anthony Joshua is a chicken. And this is coming from Luis King Kong Ortiz. Now, Ortiz has never been known to hold his tongue about any fighter, you know what I mean, in the heavyweight division or any division, and I look at that as a definite challenge, a definite statement. And I'm fans of both fighters, Ortiz and Anthony Joshua. It's just, I feel that Eddie Hearn is a smart businessman. I think he's a good promoter. And I think he's not an idiot. I think that he doesn't want to put AJ in there with certain fighters. And I don't really think that AJ is afraid of anybody. I think it's Hearn mostly because I think he's stopping a lot of fights from being made as far as like someone like Ortiz. I think that's like a red flag. Ortiz is a red flag. I'm not sure about Deontay Wilder. I think Deontay Wilder truly just wanted too much damn money. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it was, but that's neither here or there. This is Luis King Kong Ortiz. So you're looking at it like, okay, if this guy's old, if this guy is past his prime, if this guy is boxing on old legs or, and he's not marketable or whatever, but this guy is calling you out. This guy is calling you a chicken. This guy is saying that you don't want to fight, that you're protected. A lot of times we expect certain responses, from certain fighters. Like when Deontay Wilder was calling Anthony Joshua a coward. You know what I mean? He's scared. Words like that. Intimidating words. Anthony Joshua said very little. Okay? He said very little, but then what he did do, he did comment on Wilder and told him, hey, the dates are available. Step up. And who knows if Deontay Wilder's going to take that fight or not. Okay? So that April 13th date is not set in stone of who he will fight. He could easily fight Ortiz. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes the fighter has to take control and make a stand himself. I think that if Anthony Joshua's response or action was to tell Deontay Wilder, hey, you know what? The April 13th date, I want you. Okay, if he can't have Deontay Wilder because he's still stuck on the money issue, I feel that someone like Luis King Kong Ortiz with only one loss, coming from the loss of a guy that he primarily wants in the ring, I think his response or his action or his response should be his action by calling King Kong Ortiz on that April 13th date. And I know Ortiz would take it in a millisecond. And it wouldn't be about the money because I know at that point that he would at least get $2 or $3 million to fight Anthony Joshua or perhaps more. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's the case. I think it's Eddie Hearn in this situation. He does not want a fight like that to happen. He didn't even want it with Dillian White, honestly. He said it's about the numbers, it's about this. I don't think it's any of that. I think he wants to purposely keep Luis King Kong Ortiz at bay. You know what I mean? There's not a problem with, he's in great collaboration with Jay Jimenez, which is the manager of Ortiz. So that fight could be made very easily. And you have a guy, a Cuban defector, an Olympian, that's calling another Olympian chicken, that's saying you're protected. And I know it's always a great attitude to be calm, cool, and collective, like Anthony Joshua's been. I respect that about him. But then sometimes you have to really take the initiative. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say, for example, Canelo Alvarez. Do you guys remember about 4 years ago, Canelo was coming off his first loss, and he just beat Alfredo Angulo, El Perro, right? He beat him. And on the post-press conference at Islandi Lara came up there and casually asked him for a challenge. And that upset Canelo Alvarez. But that fight was made. Oscar De La Hoya did not want Canelo to fight Erislandy Lara. That was the last guy that he would want to fight, especially coming off a loss to Floyd Money Mayweather. Okay? But Canelo did that, and he got mad respect for doing that. He got respect just through the masses. He got all types of respect. You know what I mean? He had a tough fight with that guy, too. And he did not fight him again, but he did fight him. He did take the initiative. He said, hey, I want to fight Lara. That's what he said in English. He said, I want to fight Lara. And he wanted that fight because that bothered him, because he felt that he owed the fans, and he owed that response by taking an action. And that's what I believe that Anthony Joshua should do with Luis King Kong Ortiz. First of all, you'll be responding with action by saying, hey, because Anthony Joshua already called out Ortiz. Remember, after he beat Provectin, he said, dig up the old man, Ortiz. I'll fight him. You guys remember that? So it ain't like he don't know who he is. It ain't like he didn't mention him before. So yeah, that fight should happen. I think on a second note, he would give Luis King Kong Ortiz the opportunity at his quote unquote old age, right? A chance at the title, a chance at the unified titles. And I think that gives merit to a fighter that you know that's dangerous. You know what I mean? See, what I'm tired of all these fighters discrediting Ortiz and saying he's old. Well, if he's that damn old, why don't you get your ass in the ring with him? Any of you guys. That goes for Brazil. That goes for Dylan White. That goes for Anthony Joshua. That goes for anybody. Fight this guy. If you can beat this guy since he's old. Shut him up. Pay him. Like he said, Deontay Wilder, we can all, it's money. It's money for all of us to eat. But I'm going to knock you out. That's the response I want from Anthony Joshua. Not to say anything. He doesn't have to respond by saying anything. He can, hey, Luis Ortiz, you want to fight me April 13th since Deontay Wilder won't step up? I got a contract for you. 2.5, the same amount of money that the guy that beat you, or the first guy that beat you, received. And I know Luis King Kong Ortiz would take it in a millisecond. Man, I wish I was Anthony Joshua's promoter. This heavyweight boxing scene would be on fire, because that's the fight that could happen, not Dillian White. Dillian White should fight Brazil, and they could duke it out for whoever can fight Deontay Wilder, since Deontay Wilder, chances are, won't fight Joshua, right? So let's make this easy. You guys tell me what you think about Luis King Kong Ortiz's comments. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.